Hey everyone, it's Maribel Blue with a new Pathetically Unfiltered. If you are new here to this channel, welcome. Please take a moment and hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell notification. That way you will get notified when I upload a new video. And if you are not new, welcome back. It has been more than a week as to why I was unable to upload. I will link that Substack link explaining everything down below. I am not going to get into it in this video. Everything will be explained all on Substack. So if you are on Substack, please do follow me there, because moving forward, a lot of the majority of political content will be moving there. And I also may be having some paid subscriber lives. So if you are interested in that, I would highly recommend to please subscribe there, and we can get into deep dives and everything that's going on in the political spectrum, and also have your voice be heard. I don't want to be like these other creators who do not acknowledge people when they're in the room and being able to answer questions and have a real world discussion. I want to be that person where we can all talk together and kind of sort all of this shit out and come to real world conclusions, and not just spend all day on TikTok talking about it, because that's what a lot of people do. I do not want to be that person. I want to be the person moving forward and coming into solutions. That being said, today's video, I'm going to be talking about Ashley Sinclair and reacting to Kyle from Secular Talk, who actually brought this up. Now, I am following Ashley Sinclair on TikTok. She does a whole get ready with me. She puts on makeup and she talks about situations and things that either happened or allegedly happened while she was a MAGA influencer. And something she talked about in this video is quite disturbing. I actually saved several videos for hers because it's always good to save those receipts. And I've always been that person to save everything. And in this case, what Ashley shared is her experience. I'm going to say that. It's what she experienced, what she claims she allegedly knows. And the thing is, we are never really going to know unless somebody admits it or confesses it. So I'm going to go ahead and play Kyle's video, and then we're going to come back and discuss.
Elon Musk's baby mother and, of course, former MAGA insider Ashley Sinclair, she dropped an absolutely terrifying truth bomb on us the other day that I'm going to play for you here in just a second. Now, we had Ashley on Crystal Kyle and Friends, and I highly recommend you go check out that interview. It is absolutely mind-boggling, the inside tea that she has on these vile, disgusting, deranged MAGA cretins. So highly recommend you check that out. But listen to what she says here about Elon, and when they were together, Elon would open up to her about all sorts of stuff. And one of the things he opened up about is the election and the role that he played in the election, and how perhaps he had quite a bit of control over the outcome of the 2024 election. So here we go. Let's listen.
And then October rolls around. And in October, Elon tells me that he is ready to release his, in his words, anomaly in the Matrix. And I am like, oh, like, who's that? And he says that he has 10,000 lasers in space, referring to his satellites. I say, because I am like rather uncomfortable and I know the gravity of what he's trying to tell me right now, I say, wow, finally a focus on the Jewish vote. He keeps going and he says, you know, this is not a piece that they'll see on the chessboard. And I straight up tell him, I say, I would ask more, but I really don't want to be deposed. To which he says, very wise. Shortly after that, you know, he's involved with America PAC and all of this other stuff. And he's sending me some internal data from America PAC, real-time Delta vote metrics. And I am just like, how the fuck do you have this sort of data? You don't get this from door knocking, because that was one of my first jobs in politics was in campaigns and cleaning up this bad data from door knocking, because the vendors that America Pack is using at this point is a vendor that hires Craigslist crackheads for door knocking. And I wish I was exaggerating there, but I'm not. I know, like, I have caused harm with my rhetoric. However, I never like sought out to cause harm. Like, there were parts of me that really wanted like the best for the country, for America, for democracy. And one thing is, I've always hated big tech. So then to have arguably the most powerful man in the world who is sending me things about, you know, using his space technology in the election. I should also say that I have all of this backed up with many people with explicit instructions should anything happen to me, okay? But this was something that I was internally wrestling with while publicly not really showing that I was having any of these internal ethical conflicts with myself regarding this information. And then on election night itself, Elon, you know, left Mar-a-Lago early. I was at Mar-a-Lago, and he told me over text. He's like, yeah, I knew hours ago that Trump won. My team has the best real-time data anywhere. First of all, how the fuck do you have real-time data on elections? How do you have real-time data? I could not understand that. I don't know that I ever will. I saw some shit, guys. Like, I saw some shit, and I'm fighting really hard to keep my voice because I saw shit that impacts everyone. And if I was self-interested, I have been offered the self-interested deal to shut up and not talk about anything. But what I can tell you is I've not been offered certain deals just because I know that he's weird, okay? I saw some shit.
So she's implying, if not outright saying there, that Elon told her that he fucked with the election and stole it for Trump. That's the not so subtle message here. That is a huge, huge deal that she's now out there saying this. She claims she has receipts, basic evidence of him saying such things. Like, she can verify every single part of her story here, which I don't deny because she's brought many receipts in the past as well when talking about these vile, disgusting MAGA cretins. But this is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. I mean, I remember we had on Crystal Kyle and Friends Greg Palast. Greg Palast is a legendary reporter. And I remember that he laid out his case. Now, according to Greg Palast, Kamala won the election and Trump lost the election. But he says the Republicans stole it using basically their old bag of tricks of ballot spoiling and ballot purging and Jim Crow tactics in a bunch of different states where you can challenge a ballot and it gets thrown out, and then you'd have to, they flip the burden of proof and make it so like it's automatically thrown out, and then you fill out a provisional ballots, but only like half the provisional ballots get counted.
So I'm going to stop it from here because he does get into this interview that he did with this person, and I do want to find it because I'm curious myself to watch it. But I started making notes as Ashley Sinclair was talking. She was talking about her intent of getting involved with these people were not to cause harm. And I would have to ask Miss Sinclair, what were you thinking? Did you not think it would not cause harm? Wasn't there something going on inside of you that said, I could be hurting people, I could be hurting families, I could be harming people in the process with the spread of misinformation and propaganda? I mean, think about it. Think about the levels of that type of propaganda, which can deliberately hurt people by voting for the wrong person. Now, yeah, I listen to people's TikTok lives. I was on some lives earlier today, and you still get a lot of men who will go in there and be so proud they voted for Trump. And a lot of it just has to do with being an egomaniac. It really has nothing else to do other than probably SPS, but it's that egomaniac thinking they voted for like this grand wizard and he is doing all of these great things. And I know that they must be sitting back knowing full well this man is not doing anything great at all. It really is a matter of just being spiteful and rebellious. There's nothing else that goes with that type of behavior of yeah, look at what I want. That's all it is. It's nothing else but this immature behavior that does absolutely nothing for anyone. And at some point, you have to ask yourself, when do you get tired of behaving like a spiteful child where you are never ever going to get your way? Now, for Ashley St. Clair, I don't know what was that turning point for her, so to speak. What clicked that made her say, I'm doing like fucked up shit over here, and this is probably not a good idea to do? Was it her having a baby with Ilanka? I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to know. A lot of the interviews that I watch, I don't know if anyone has ever asked that. I would personally like to interview her and ask that question. What was the moment that turned around and said, I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be privy to this. Because again, there's only so much you can do by behaving spiteful and acting like you are getting your way when you're not. And now she's in a scary position. I mean, I commend her for saying what she's saying, but at the same time, she has to be walking around with her head over her shoulder. And that's fucked up. So now I'm going to move on to a later part of the video where Trump is talking about how he doesn't need any votes. And we've heard him say that time and time. I don't need your vote. I don't need your vote, which is ridiculous because like Kyle had mentioned before, any politician who is going out and campaigning, what are they saying? Vote. Go out and vote. We need your votes. That's what they're saying. And this one was saying the total opposite.
You have Ashley St. Clair saying that he did, and he basically implied it, if not outright, said it to her. And don't forget, y'all, this is not the first time we've had this conversation, okay? In the wake of the election, remember these stories that were told? Remember these curious things that were said by Trump, by Elon, by others? Listen to this, guys.
We don't need votes. I tell my people, I don't need any votes. We got all the votes we need. I don't need votes. We don't need votes. We got more votes than anybody's ever had.
That is a weird thing to say, isn't it? This was on the campaign trail leading up to the election, and he keeps saying, we don't need votes. We don't need votes. We don't need your votes. Basically the opposite of what every politician says. Every politician is like, get out there and vote. Get out there and vote for me. Vote for us. Vote the party line. Vote, vote, vote. Here he's going, I don't need your votes. And he said it over and over and over and over and over. Let's keep going.
You don't have to vote. Don't worry about voting. The voting, we got plenty of votes. Because we can take the Senate pretty easily. And I think with our little secret, we're going to do really well with the House, right? Our little secret is having a big impact. He and I have a secret.
Our little secret is having an impact? Bro, what? What?
He and I have a secret. We'll tell you what it is when the race is over. You know, computers are the greatest. He looked at some that were just shipped in, some of these vote counting computers. He knew it before it even came in the door. He looked like at the back of it. Oh, I know that one.
I'm a technologist. I know a lot about computers. And I'm like, the last thing I would do is trust a computer program.
Oh, my word. Look, man, take it or leave it, believe it or don't believe it, but good googly moogly. This, like, y'all are not helping your case here. You know, every single thing you're saying here is just short of like, yeah, I stole that shit and I'd do it again. Like, what the fuck?
That's the computer program. Because it's just too easy to hack. It's too easy to add just one.
Oh, my word. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right, now this one is crazy. So Elon was interviewed by Tucker, leading up to the election. And Elon has one of his kids here. And listen to the banter with the kid and pay close attention to what he's saying.
Yeah, we're in SpaceX and quietly just do whatever we want.
What's your assessment? Did this work? Is he going to win?
Yeah, it is. Never know. But never know.
They'll never know. At SpaceX, we can do whatever we want. Is he going to win? Yeah, he's going to win. They'll never know. Come on, man.
You're fucked, dude.
I'm fucked. If he loses, I'm fucked.
It does seem that way.
So literally.
I'm gonna leave it at that. I will link Kyle's video below. But you know why I'm laughing? Because Mr. Tucker Carlson, who was hee hee ha ha in this video, isn't laughing so much these days right now. He is playing the apology tour. He's regretting everything that happened. He's taking responsibility for his actions. He realizes he was wrong. You have Candace Owen also on her apology tour. Megyn Kelly, who's so tired of this shit. But you would still vote for him anyway. All of these people who were laughing are not laughing right now. And for Ilanka to put himself out there with his child and he is all hee hee ha ha laughing, is he hee hee ha ha now that Ashley Sinclair is opening up her mouth and saying things that she has seen and even leaving preparations behind in the event that, you know, anything could happen to her? This is really fucking scary, people. This is really scary. I was on a live earlier. I'm going to end it with this. I was on a live earlier, and I guess I came in, I left, I was eating dinner. I did not want my dinner to be spoiled listening to people arguing. I come back, there's two people on the panel who I'm actually friends with on TikTok. And I guess they were having an argument about not pronouns, but how to address people. Like now female is offensive, saying the word dumb is offensive. Look. You want to know what's offensive? Using the N-word, using slur words is offensive. Calling people by not the pronouns that they prefer to be called is offensive. I don't give a fuck if you don't like it. If a person wants to be called they, them, just fucking do it. It's not that hard. But when you start getting into, oh, well, the word dumb now is an ableism. Now, for me, and this is my own personal opinion, is out of fucking control. Because if you're going to put the N-word on the same scale as dumb, that's dumb. We have a lot of shit going on that doesn't or shouldn't include this stupid bullshit of, well, what word should I use? I can't use the word dumb. What can I use? And meanwhile, you still have ICE allegedly kidnapping people off the street. Some people are not being deported. They're being held in detention centers. Why? If you don't want them here, just deport them back to their home country. Why are we holding them here? Why are we creating a slush fund for J6ers who clearly committed crimes because they were tried, found guilty, and sent to jail, and your leader said, no, they were not criminals. It was a day of love. I mean, I know what I was watching on TV. That was not a day of love at all. It was crazy to see that. It was crazy to see a cop screaming because he was getting smashed by the people trying to come in. That was not a day of love. So when we're sitting here on TikTok talking about what words are forbidden to use because it's offensive, you've lost the whole picture on what we need to be taken care of in this country. And some people really need to put their priorities in order. Because right now, a lot of people, your priorities are not in order. You want to stay on TikTok all day and argue with MAGA people? That's all well and good. But at the end of the day, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to resolve anything. It's not going to change anything. Because there are people who live outside of these social media apps who are effectively making a difference. And that means going out there and talking to people and staying informed and educated. That's how all of these things work. So let me know your thoughts below. Please remember you must be a subscriber in order for you to comment. And this is Maribel Blue signing off. As always, remember, be good to yourself, be good to each other. Most importantly, take care of you. Bye, everybody.